Always good. It's always good to get the blood pumping. It's always good.
Gets me pumped up, baby. Gets me pumped
If
up.
if you're not awake, you're awake now.
You're awake now. Welcome, America. Welcome, ride alongs. Welcome, every LV Cops TV fans.
Road
Welcome,
dogs.
welcome to our Saturday live.
Hope today finds you all and well. All
Yes.
and well. So, hey, B, let me ask you. Let me ask you a little question.
All right.
What has 100 balls, and every Friday and Saturday night it screws old women over?
Bingo.
Whoa, you got it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking old people, right? What do they play a lot of? Bingo, and there's balls, right? Got that big barrel of balls that spins or whatever. All right.
Yep.
I think that's the first joke I've ever answered of yours correctly.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Nice.
all right. Here's another one. Here's another one.
All right.
What is the smartest insect in the world?
Smartest insect. I don't know.
A spider, because they can find anything on the web. Badoosh.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
I was
listen.
gonna say maybe a centipede, but eh.
All right. Let me tell you, B. Listen, there's a lot of shit that's been dropping on the Karen Reed trial and
Yeah.
Boston 25, an
Yeah.
overwhelming amount of information. Now, unfortunately for you and I, we're always behind the eight ball. So today we're going
Usually.
to rely on the chat. What's over here? The chat to help us out and get us up to speed. Okay.
Nice.
Now, did you watch the Boston 25, man? It was a good little interview, right? They're
Yeah.
talking about evidence that was not being given to the defense, and they
Yeah.
finally got it. And the defense, the prosecution was trying to fight off some information that the defense didn't want to put out there, right? Because it was
Right. Yeah.
damaging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the Proctor incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
It went on to the. I mean, one thing that Karen Reed said during that kind of impressed me, and it stated a lot. He said that what do you say? Where's it at? Shoot, I can't find it now.
I'm
What
obsessed
he
with
was
food.
saying, what he was saying was just the least of his offenses, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All that stuff that he was saying about her and calling her all those kinds of names were the least of his offenses. What does that tell you?
That tells me it was really, really bad. That
He's a
means
bad
so.
dude.
So do you think there's stuff that they didn't even tell us about that he might have done during this case?
Man, well, maybe this case, or maybe she's alluding to prior investigations. You know?
Well, that's what I've always said. If Proctor's dirty, we need to go back to every single case he's ever done. Because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and it sucks. But what if there's some innocent people behind bars? We can't. That's not
Yeah.
acceptable.
Well, that's why Karen's fighting for her life.
Yeah,
You know,
and she should be. Yeah, I mean, this is
she
it's not fair.
she's in the front lines,
Hmm.
gathering information. Say, hey, and one thing she said too, as well, is how critical are words, paragraphs, and sentences when you're dealing in a case like this, because one word could change the whole dynamic of
Hmm.
of the case, right?
Yep.
Well, what do you mean by that? Right? So that
Yep.
they're going down even to the word and how it was meant and how it was used
Right.
to get their point across. So there's a lot, man.
Right.
There's a lot to unpack, man. And I don't know if I can the man to unpack it. Even though I'm Hispanic, I can pack pretty good stuff, but I might not be able to
Yeah.
unpack it.
No, this is where Melanie Little and all the lawyers come into play to really
Yeah.
talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Jackson is. I hope Jackson, and I'm sure he is. He's too smart, too big of a lawyer to not let everybody know that they were, using Arcca
Yeah.
and that they paid them and all that.
Yeah.
The discovery. I'm hoping they did the right thing. I'm sure they did. Every lawyer that I've watched talk about this is like, hey, we discover everything. Everything's discoverable. So if we pay them $5, we let everybody know, if even if they did it out of the kindness of their heart and did it for free pro bono, but we still paid them for their time or for their expenses,
Yeah.
hotel room, food per diem. We disclose, they have to disclose everything. So I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure that Jackson would do that, because that's, you saw the Aunt Bev getting really upset. Yeah, she
Well,
was she was shaking, man. She was not happy during the whatever it was,
well, let me go back
the
to the Boston
discovery issues.
25. Yeah, let me go back to Boston 25 real quick.
Okay.
The One of the things that Jackson brought up is they didn't find out that well, he was implying that there could be some jury tampering, and we knew that it could possibly be some jury tampering,
Right.
right? Possibly. And then
Right.
they wanted to find out who was in charge of the jury, right? The
Right.
supervisor. Well,
Right.
come to find out, he's directly connected to the Alberts and then everybody else.
Correct.
So if that's not a conflict of interest, I don't know why this wasn't even thrown out, from
Well,
like from the get-go.
and didn't he dismiss? I thought he dismissed three
Yeah,
jurors that were pro Karen Reed.
yeah,
So he
yeah,
got rid of them very quickly.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yep,
I
yep,
agree.
yeah,
They should not have that. But what better way than to have eyes and ears in the room, right, with the jury? So now you can tell everybody which way they're thinking they're going.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's smart, but it's not correct.
But the problem I have with this is how nonchalant
Correct. She's
Aunt
too good.
Aunt, Aunt Bev is about things that the prosecution does that they do wrong, but she's like, no big deal. But when the defense does something wrong, it's like, holy
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a
macaroni,
it's a big deal. It's a big
right?
deal. Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I can see it, you can see it,
Yeah.
everybody else can see it. That's a little bit biased to me,
Well,
right?
when she took that break and then she came back, right? And she was really upset. I mean, she was visibly shaking. Her hand was
Yeah,
shaking. She
yeah, oh
was
yeah,
upset.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
when she
I
gave them the
I
week
think
to gather all their information and come back.
listen, I had a nickname for Lally. It was Lollipop, right?
Right.
Hank is gonna be called Hanky Panky,
Hanky
right?
panky.
Because he's up to no good, man. I'm telling you. He comes across. I think listen. He comes across saying the right things for Auntie Bev to
Right.
be like swooned by him, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's saying the right stuff. He's pounding the desk. He's like, "Hey, this is not right." But has no
Yeah.
case in this thing,
Yeah.
right? So one of the first things I want to talk
Yeah.
about. One of the first things I
Absolutely.
want to talk about is the metadata, right?
Right.
That Jackson wants from all those videos that are popping up now. Who, what, when, and where? Who had control of it, where, and when? Right? Those are crucial information tags that come across on every video,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who
Mm-hmm.
changes it? Who manipulated it? And why is it that they only selected certain video clips to download to the cloud or to the department server, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
anytime you manipulate a file, it has that person's ID or somebody's ID. That's crucial information to have to see who manipulated that video, especially that inverted video.
Yes. Yeah. We need to find out who inverted it. Because apparently it's not easy to invert the video. I mean, I know you and Steve said there's a button, but apparently it's kind of hard. You have to kind of work at it, I guess. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about inverting videos, but
yeah,
it seems to me it would be hard to do it. You
yeah,
have to actually purposely go and do it, and that means you're purposely trying to deceive. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
for
what I was.
sure, for sure.
Yeah. So
And
there's only one reason to do that.
listen, when I'm watching Jackson and Hanky Panky,
Hmm.
they seem to have a pretty good working relationship, right?
Right.
But during that video that I was watching, Hanky Panky says, I I have no longer have the confidence to deal with the defense. Motherfucker, you've been hiding shit all day
I know.
long.
Yeah. It's like, I don't give a shit what comes out of your mouth, dude. And we're tired of your fucking voice in your face.
Yeah, yeah, already.
You
No,
know?
he doesn't strike me as a killer, but man, what hides underneath, man, you don't know because he's saying some crazy stuff to make Auntie Bev kind of believe him even more and more.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, some people were saying like it was odd how upset she got. I agree. Like somebody said, unless it was a hostage note. Yeah, why are you shaking? I mean, you're that mad? You really think just because they might have not have given everything about Arca, you're gonna freaking shake and freak out and get all pissy? And
Well,
I don't know.
Hanky Panky said something to the effect of, I will provide all those files, all those documents,
Hmm.
if, listen to this, if they survive time. Now, I get that. It's been a minute. It's been 3 years, right?
You mean
But
until somebody deletes them?
right, that's right,
So
exactly.
if they survive, my friends deleting them because they're damaging to me, I'll allow it. Tough.
That's why the defense wants all the metadata, because that will tell them
Yeah.
who is finger fucking the
That's
files.
that's strange. Yeah, that's strange. Well, we Gonzo and I were talking. This is to the chat and everybody listening. Who? Why did the feds hire Arca and not the defense? Does anybody know that? Why? Because I know this is the everything's coming down for the discovery, but who hired Arca? Like, why did the feds hire Arca and not the defense? You know what I mean?
I,
Maybe you
I,
guys know.
I'm saying maybe it's because they were involved in the Sandra Birchmore, right? But
Well, yeah, and Sandra Birchmore, who we have, Lank, Tully, Guareno, Morrissey, and Albert were
yeah,
Sandra Birchmore, right? And
yeah,
Guareno missed 36,000 texts because he's a
yeah,
genius.
yeah,
You know, it's easy to miss that. It's a small amount. You know what I mean? I can see
yeah.
how that's done.
Well, when I was watching that video, Hanky Panky acted like he was bending over for the defense. He's putting up more obstacles to make the defense jump over, right, and explain
Yeah,
themselves. Now they're
yeah,
filing motions.
yeah,
Now they're filing motion after motion. One
yeah.
thing, one thing that they're trying to get to explain is, remember, they had the initial video clip, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had and they said that's the only video we got, and then the inverted clip came up, right, and
Mm-hmm.
then the third clip that came up was with No Game Higgy in the carport on his phone talking to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How come those videos weren't disclosed at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
They're just bleeding stuff in. As the pot gets hotter, people are going to start showing some more information, and eventually they're going to get caught.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So we're
And then
getting some
go ahead.
answers here. The defense got 3,000-page discovery on Arca and Higgins info. The prosecution doesn't like the results. Yeah, we know the prosecution doesn't like it, but why didn't the defense get to hire Arca? Why did the feds step in and just give them to him? The feds have active investigation. Okay, so
On
that when they were
on
investigating,
who? On who? Who's the active investigation on? Is it the
Arca
Santa
gave all their
Birchmore?
information to the Commonwealth.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But the Commonwealth didn't use it. But because the
Right.
Commonwealth used it, the defense was allowed to
Yep.
cross-examine.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you. Thank you. I think the feds hired Arca to investigate with their own invest offer to carry. Okay, findings showing. Okay, but so they were allowed to cross-examine, so that way they were allowed to get all the information out.
Right.
Because Bev wants all the transcripts for the defense, for the prosecution, for the Rule 14 for concerning the Arca.
Yeah.
So she's really harping on that. But I did love the way this one guy said that because June 10th, right? I went back and I watched in June 10th when they had the court date, and Bev said on June 10th that they were going to voir dire Arca and then everything was going to be okay. And she said that voir dire cures discovery issues, right? Voir dire Arca cures discovery issues. So there should be no issue right now, right? I mean,
Hmm.
that's how I look at it. You were
Hmm.
okay with it then, but now all of a sudden you're not because your people are saying they didn't pay or whatever. You know what they're saying. Um, but so I don't understand exactly what's going on with Arca, but I hope they let them use them because they really were informative. A lot better than Trooper Paul.
That was their expert, right? So let me ask you this: What do
Trooper
you
Paul
think?
was pretty good though.
What do you think about Hanky Panky having an issue with Bedro? At first, he says, "Hey, I have no problem with Karen Reed getting all these attorneys. I have no problem with that."
Right.
But this guy,
Yeah. Whoa, whoa,
Bettero,
whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, you can have any attorney you want, but just not this guy.
he's got connections to Turtle Boy, and they might be exchanging information that could help each other's cases. They're not going to do it. Are attorneys going to really put their career on the line for that kind of stuff, bro?
Only if they know they can win.
Wow.
What was I say? Commonwealth and defense both had access to Arcca reports, but the Commonwealth didn't like the results and wanted them out. Now for the second case, they can be hired by defense. There you go. Thank you, Melissa B. We get
Yeah,
Commonwealth.
because
Okay.
that
So,
the
right.
order
So,
was expired. That's why they're trying to make contact with Arca now, the defense.
right. So, right. So if the prosecution uses them, the defense can use them, cross-examination. Commonwealth didn't like their answer because they proved that
Hmm.
John Officer O'Keefe was not hit by a car. Defense loved him because it proved that Officer O'Keefe was not hit by, or even if he was hit by a car, he was not killed by the car,
He got killed by a
not
car.
alive by the car. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Yep. Yep. They want to have. They're thinking that would be. Listen, if they're talking about Bettero exchanging information, right?
Yeah,
What did Proctor do at the very beginning? Who was he texting? Everybody in the world.
everybody. Yeah, yeah, everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right?
agreed. Yeah, yeah. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to let everybody do their thing, or
But the problem is, it's up to Bev to decide.
she's the gatekeeper, as she lets everybody know all the time.
Can you imagine?
Discussing Arca testimony. It's representing LVCops. I think the difference with the issue is Spanky is suggesting that Jackson outright lied to the court. Right. Okay. Yeah. So they were. So I guess the discovery was that they were saying that the money issue, right? The 23,000
Uh
G.
huh. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but Jackson's is too smart for that. He's not gonna like let that go. Everybody knows that you have to do it. I don't think he would. Right? I mean, that's my gut. How
Yeah.
could he? Right? That's a
Yeah.
that's a big faux pas. That's a big mistake. You don't make big mistakes like that when you're a high level lawyer like that. You just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
You know. And
Another
not that, but
thing
who
that.
cares? Who cares? You
Yeah.
paid him 23 grand. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you this: how many of these jurors, I mean not jurors, witnesses, impeached themselves?
I don't know.
How many of them changed their story or said, "Oh, it was an oversight," or "It was just I didn't understand it"? Pretty
Uh,
much all of them, right?
yeah, yeah.
So they're trying to suppress the defense from bringing up evidence to impeach them,
Right.
right? So what's a trial for if you can't catch somebody lying? What,
Hmm.
then everybody's telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
the
I agree,
that
Dark Willow. I think Hanky Panky is scared of Bettero and
Yeah,
Jackson. I think that's why he doesn't want him in. I think he's
yeah,
scared.
yeah,
He's like, this dude's gonna tear us apart. We keep him away, keep him away. Right? I
yeah,
mean, it makes sense. If somebody was damaging to my case, yeah, I wouldn't want him going against me because I want to win. Right?
yeah.
Now it sucks that we have Karen's life on the line, but they still want to win, and you know,
Could you could you hit
fight.
could you hit Bev with if she denies Bettero, then you're denying Karen the right to a fair trial by denying her an attorney.
Yeah, I don't, that's probably
I
good
mean,
for a chat question. I don't know if she can. I don't. How can they deny him? Like, how does that work? I don't know. Why would you deny him? He's a lawyer. He's from the area. He's got a good reputation. How can they? How can Bev say no? Like, how can she say no? I don't want him. You have to pick somebody else. Like, what's the policy? What do they? What does she have to look for? You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
I don't understand that.
Just because he's representing Turtle Boy and Hanky Panky play it off like, all these people, all these jurors are getting threatened and harassed by, the road dogs that are out there,
Right.
supporting Karen Reed,
Right.
that he shouldn't be allowed to participate in Karen Reed's case. But that's giving her the right of a free of a fair trial.
Yeah, she picks who she wants,
Yep.
right? She's
Yep.
paying for it. Pick who she
Yep.
wants, or if he wants to do it pro bono, that's on him. Like again,
Mhm.
everybody has their choice, right? Free
Yeah.
will. You have your choice. This is America. She has the right to a speedy trial and a fair defense, right? So to
But
me, it would make sense.
that type
But
that
I don't
type
know
of
how
information,
Bev looks at it.
that's
I
going
don't
to
know
be
what
above our
criteria they use.
that type of decision is going to be
Yeah,
above our pay grade. You know.
yeah, way above our pay grade. We're just dumb street cops. We're
Yeah.
not lawyers.
Exactly. Exactly. The one thing that I want to talk about is Attorney Little. She wanted to have chain of custody of all the logs, um, from Norfolk DA to the state police that came into possession of the videos. Right.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what
that'd be
she
good.
wants. She wants to
Yeah,
have a log from the Commonwealth to the state police officers who had chain of custody and who where'd they go, right? Because like I was saying earlier, those three clips, one came out, the other one came out, and then no
mhm,
game Higgy in the Sally Port, and he was talking on the phone, right?
yep.
So those are good information that she's asking, for the Commonwealth and for the state police to bring out and talk about it, and they're being
Mhm.
really deceptive about that kind of stuff, and that tells me that something's wrong if they're being deceptive. If it was me, if I had nothing to hide, yeah,
Right.
go ahead, here's the metadata, here's all the videos that we have, here's everything that we archived from this date to this date, and unfortunately,
Yep.
we didn't
Yep.
get it all, but we got most of it, right?
Right.
That's what should have happened,
Yeah.
right? But they didn't
Yeah.
think that Karen Reed was going to say, wait a minute, I'm going to fight this, I'm going to bring out some big guns, and now they're backpedaling 100%. That's why they brought Hanky Panky on to try to save Lollipop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When I
Hmm.
watch that video, I always forget Karen has such a thick Boston accent.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always forget. So then when I hear her talk, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's from Boston. Yeah.
I kept hearing the term Brady violation. What exactly is that? Does the chat know? Do you know, Brian? Is that a rule that frees up all the video and audio and all the records?
The only Brady rule I know is from the
The only Brady I
Secret
know is Tom
Service.
Brady.
Well, no, no. I'm talking Brady, the guy who jumped on
Right.
Ronald Reagan when he got
Uh,
assassinated,
assassination attempt.
assassination
Right.
attempt.
Right.
Brady was the one who took the bullet for Ronald Reagan in
Right.
the head, and then they have the
Right.
Brady
Yeah.
violation or Brady whatever.
Yeah.
Brady violation is when, come on, deadhead Jason Smith, is
Bring it.
when,
Bring it.
is
Bring it.
when, is when
I picked door number two.
I picked door number one. No, three. Yeah, so that's the only
Okay,
Brady
so
thing
it's
I
a
know.
set. It's said on here which evidence is not. Let's see.
There is exculpatory information not turned over to the defense. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
So
you, Mr. Deadhead Jason Smith.
I'm telling you, if that's the case, man, there's a lot of Brady violations in this case,
Yeah. Well,
right?
even the people that I watched said that there was discovery violations on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't go into each one, but he said there was absolutely discovery violations on both sides, the defense and the prosecution. So, but that
It's a.
happens. That's
It's
that's
a.
that's
It,
lawyers, right? That's a
it's
case.
always.
This is a big case.
Listen. When we were on patrol, it was always a cat and mouse game, right? It's the
Right.
same thing in court. It's a cat and mouse
Right.
game, right? You're trying to catch somebody in the trap,
Right.
right? And the
Yep.
Brady rule kind of equalizes that. Everybody's supposed to be on the same
E-
playground,
e-
right?
right. Equal playing field.
Yeah.
How often in your careers have you been accused by the defense of not producing original evidence? Zero.
Listen, I just watched the case.
G is
A
zero
little
too. We're both
exactly.
zero.
There's a sheriff in Florida that is going back a few years because there was a domestic situation where the
Mm-hmm.
reports were initiated year after year, and it got progressively worse. And this guy ended up killing three or four of his family members. Right. So the
Jeez.
sheriff is
Okay.
going back and saying, "I'm going to find out who responded to the first call, to the last call, and I'm going to hold accountable, and people are going to lose their jobs because they didn't do their job. They didn't protect this person the way they should, right? This department needs to do the exact same thing with the Sandra Birchmore case, the Enrique case, and Karen Reed case. Anybody that had their little hands in it, for example, like those names that you just mentioned, Tully, Garino,
Lank, Tully, Garino,
Fanning,
Morrissey.
those guys had their fucking mitts in the Sandra Birchmore. How about Enrique? What's going on there?
Yep.
The top
And like
dog needs to come down, fucking drop the hammer and say, "We're going back, boys."
Gotta get the head of the snake, man, or see if you don't do anything, it's just gonna stay the way it is. If you cut the head of the snake off and just replace him, the other people will still do the same. You need to cut the head off, replace it, and start getting rid of everybody underneath. You need to find out who's dirty and who's not. And there's easy ways to find that out.
You need to shake the pillars, my boy. You need to shake the pillars.
Yeah. But somebody made a comment that that they don't want Bettero because he has a lot of info on Albert's lying and a bunch of stuff, and that's why Hanky Panky doesn't want him in there.
Yeah.
So that's true. Good
Yeah.
comment. I saw that.
Yeah. Little wanted to have all the reports and all the officers involved from the Sandra Birchmore, right? So they could look at it. And Hanky Panky was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. Boy, it has everything to do with this case because the same people that are investigating it, that one are investigating this one. So how is that not relevant?
Yep. And how does Garino miss 36,000 texts?
Nothing to see here. Because you know why? Because he selected proper text messages, right? But when the FBI went in, the feds went in and said, wait a minute, this shows that he had sexual relations with this minor years ago. So they started pounding all those text messages, and then they realized, oh shit,
we're in trouble. We're in trouble, son.
That's why the defense wants all those records to show that there was complacency. They overlooked important information, crucial evidence, which would play perfectly in the Karen Reed case. Got exactly what they did.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The Birchmore cases. That dude, I don't know. He's gonna sit in jail for the rest of his life, as he should.
No, he should be put in general population.
I hope the prisoners take good care of him there. Paul loves glazed donuts. Everybody loves glazed donuts.
Yeah.
I got a glazed donut sitting right over there.
And also, I think was Proctor involved in the Sandra Birchmore?
Proctor,
chat, tell me.
I think he was. Yeah. I love when the guys are fired up. Shows how shitty the cops. The investigation. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. What's that? Tiff. Yeah, Tiff. It's a shit show.
Yeah. The Arcca thing that Hanky Panky disclosed to Auntie Bev had her all shooken up. It might. Who knows? Maybe they went back to the judge's chambers and had a little lip lock, and she's all wobbling the knees because he's so handsome.
She's so flustered. Oh, I do declare.
Anything you say, Hanky Panky.
I do declare, Mr. Hanky Panky. Did you guys watch the interview with Turtle Boy with the juror? Hell yeah. Made me realize, like I've been saying, don't take offense to this, everybody, but there's a lot of stupid people out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stupid people. When I'm watching this jury, I'm like, are you kidding me? What the? What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if the defense would have brought the dog expert in sooner, we might have helped. What does it matter when it is, man? The facts are the facts. I don't care if it's at the beginning or at the end. Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah,
facts are facts. The truth is the truth.
They weren't allowed,
man. It just goes to show you some of these jurors, fucking idiots, man. Idiots. How could you think like that?
But they weren't allowed to take notes, Brian.
I know.
By memory.
I know, and let me dial it back. I apologize. I'm not saying that they were all stupid, but what I'm saying is, how do you? How do you listen to Arcca and then not even understand that at the end of that they're saying Officer O'Keefe did not die from the car? How do you not understand that when they say it to you and they, oh, we didn't know who they were for? Who the fuck do you think they're for?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Listen,
come on, people. Fucking brains, man.
when
Fuck.
you have 70 plus witnesses, that's a lot of information to take in when you can't take notes and you can't even review notes.
Well, I think Lally brought in all those witnesses just to confuse everybody, dude. Come
Confuse
on.
me.
You don't need. Oh, you worked at McDonald's? Yeah, when I was 6. Oh, can you tell me about that? Well, it was 40 years ago. Well, tell me about your normal day at McDonald's when you were 6. What did you eat? Where did you go to school? Who gives a shit? Why are you even asking these questions? It's not pertinent to the information. It's not pertinent to the case. Who gives a shit? How about you get to the real stuff? You know what I mean? So I think he
Yeah.
did that on purpose just to throw everybody off and make everybody just confused and have 30,000 people sitting there testifying. Where and what did they get from that? Nothing. They just
Mhm.
interviewed a ton of people and got nothing. It was a
Yep.
big waste of time.
Yep. Yep. It
So,
was.
but
So I
yeah,
mentioned.
it was a little disheartening with that juror. I mean, he was a nice guy and all, but I don't. But again, maybe they didn't explain it all well. I mean, maybe it was just a shit show from the beginning. I don't know.
Well, people perceive things differently, Brian. As
I
you
could be
know,
wrong.
you
I
could be
usually am.
wrong. You
I could
could
be
be
wrong.
wrong. You could be
I'm
wrong.
not, but I could be.
It's I've been on plenty of jury duties, man, and it is cut and dry when you're
Oh,
able
okay.
to get the information, the evidence in front of you. It's pretty cut and dry what you
Yeah,
want to say, right?
it's
And
not
and it
rocket
makes you
science.
and it makes you think when another person has a different opinion than yours, which they're entitled to, right? Oh no,
Right.
this person's not guilty. I'm like you're like 100% it is, right?
Yeah.
That's why it
Yeah.
was that's why it was a mistrial, right? Because they couldn't come to terms with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
that's the beauty of it, right? Either one way 100%
Yeah.
or the other way 100%. And that's the purpose of a jury, right? And
Yeah.
that's the job of the defense and the prosecution to win them over, right? And kudos
Yeah.
to the defense for getting a mistrial, right?
Yeah. And the jury did dismiss or not guilty on a couple of the charges, the manslaughter with a vehicle. Well, I forget the charge, but
Yeah,
some of them got dismissed, which was good.
yeah,
Thank God
yeah.
they were thinking about that. I just wish, like the jury. I don't know. I won't say anything more. I don't want to
Well,
dig
listen,
myself
I,
into a
I want
deeper
to
hole.
say
But I
this.
just wish they. I wish it would have been a little bit easier, and the jury would have really paid attention. Because when you have someone's life in your hands, right? When you're on a trial like this, a big trial where somebody might go to jail for a long time or the rest of their life, and you have a deceased officer, you really need to pay attention to everything in that case from the beginning to the end. You need to hear everything because you're talking about this lady might be going to jail for the rest of her life. When you're a juror, it's on you. It behooves you to pay attention and hear everything. And then you really have to think logically and listen to the evidence and then put it together. And that's what all of them should do collectively.
Yeah.
And I,
You
I don't know
know,
if they did that. I don't know.
I remember the first time I got called to jury duty, right? And
Mhm.
I walked in with my shirt and tie, and the other 12 jurors,
Mhm.
dresses, shirt and tie. It was professional, right? Because
Mhm.
we knew
Mhm.
what we were there for, right?
Mhm.
Times have
Yeah.
changed, man. People's perception of it's her life, not mine. I don't care, right? They don't put
Yeah.
themselves in their shoes. They're just like, it is what it is. But let me ask you this: what about double jeopardy? Does that come into play?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either,
Because
but it
well, the
could.
case, the ones that they got dismissed on, they can't retry her for. But the
Mhm.
other stuff that with the mistrials for the charges that they're bringing back, they can try her for, right? But they
Right.
can't if it's dismissed on one or a mistrial on one. I don't think they can retry her for those same charges. That'd be a good question for Melanie Little if she's out there. Melanie, can she is
Yeah.
double jeopardy play
Or
uh,
a lawyer,
a
no, or
case in this?
anybody that's in here that's a has a higher
Yeah,
degree
any
than us
lawyers
can.
out there? Well,
Hey,
my wife's a
lawyers,
paralegal.
lawyers, not liars.
Yeah,
Lawyers.
maybe my wife knows if she's watching the
Hey, Steve,
Double
you want to
Jeopardy
jump in
comes
here
into
and read
play.
some of
But
these things off? Boy.
Yeah, I was trying to get your attention on them
Yeah, I
where are
without
you?
saw.
inter
I
without
saw.
interrupting the flow.
Blessed in Texas. Oh,
We
yeah.
got my
Woo, woo,
LB Cops
woo.
TV with
Medical reasons.
Mm.
yeah, we got Blessed in Texas, $5.
That could
Do
be
you
true. I didn't think
guys?
of that, but she might have medical reasons.
Well, wouldn't she?
What?
Wouldn't have that occurred
During
previously?
the during the case.
Unless yeah. But she said it
I
was
don't
grave
know.
concern,
I
and
don't know,
she
but maybe.
was.
Hmm.
You there? Can you hear me?
Well, if she is suffering from medical conditions, hope she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
We got a super from Pass the
I'll say
Pepper.
it for you, B.
Say it. Say it. Don't be
Say it.
scared.
There was
What?
a
Paul
screenshot
allegedly
of
drunk. Oh,
there was a screenshot of a text
is that
conversation.
true? Trooper
Can you guys
Paul?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, B?
I can hear you guys are you're glitching a little bit, but
Okay. There was a text conversation screenshot of Paul talking to somebody, supposedly, where he said he was drinking heavily the night before and possibly still drunk when he was testifying. Allegedly.
Wow. Wow.
could you be
Well,
in trouble? Yeah.
let me say
Yeah,
this. Let me
absolutely.
say this. Let me say this. If I saw what was going on to the previous witnesses and how they were getting destroyed, I'd be drinking too.
Yeah.
We got a new member,
No,
Papa George.
yeah, Melissa B wrote, what did she say? Their people are stupid? Yeah, people are stupid. Yeah. Sorry,
Thank
but
you,
a lot
Papa
of people are
George.
stupid. And
Thank you,
Just
Papa
because
George.
John and Karen
just
were
because
drinking.
John and Karen doesn't mean she hit him. Yeah. And like I've always said, even if she did hit him with the car, that did not unalive him. I'm sorry. That car at 24, I don't care, even if she ran him over, it didn't do the damage to the body that the body shows. Period. I don't
Well,
care who you are. It doesn't add up. So
I
even if
put
she
a
did hit him, doesn't matter. That's not what unalived him.
I put a
I've seen
graphic.
people, and I've seen people, hold on a second. I've seen people run over by a car. The back end of their car runs over their head, right? Runs over their head, the back end of the car, and they're fine. No crushed skull, just road rash and the tire mark. I had one guy had a tire mark all the way on the side of his head. The back of the car, the trunk is light. It ran over his head. It's only a couple 100 pounds. Your head is tough. He was fine.
Well, I put a
So
graphic
how
up.
did Officer O'Keefe get all those his busted skull, right, in like 3 or 4 different locations on his head? How did he get those? Because the car didn't cause that. So how did he get all the broken bones in his head on the back of his head?
Yeah, I put a graphic up last week or the last video that
You did, correct.
if you have a direct impact, you have a survival rate at a 24-mile-an-hour impact of 98%.
Yeah, 98% survival
That's
rate.
a direct impact, not a
Yeah.
side swipe.
Yeah, a direct impact. It might break your leg, maybe, but that's about it. Bruise you if it's direct. The way he got hit from the side with his arm, no way, no humanly way possible that she unalived him by hitting him. So
Yeah. Yep.
You gonna tell the boys when they're not saying something?
Yeah, I don't know
Oh, we're not allowed to
these-
say that?
Well, I think there's something to do with Paul or something. And I saw pictures,
Oh, okay.
supposed pictures of Paul shirtless taking a photo of himself. But I don't know how real that is because if you look at the tattoo on his arm, it looks like AI. So I don't know if people are putting out fake photos or what.
Well, with AI,
Man, you just don't know what to believe anymore. Holy
anything's possible
macaroni.
now. Yeah.
I thought Brian was speaking Spanish the other day.
Did you guys see that? I played that to my buddies. I was like, look at me. I'm speaking Spanish. And it's even my voice. But it wasn't me, people. I don't know how to speak Spanish like that. I know Thami los manos. That's all I know. Thami los manos. And no puedes manejar sin licencia. No driving without a license.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know street cop Spanish, not that. That was
What are you
cool.
talking about? That was perfect.
Yeah, it
That was
was.
awesome. Yeah, that was awesome.
Charlie Ravens, milestone 3 months member. Thank you. She says, love you guys. God save the Honorable Blue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We got a super from MEA. I can't
Don't
tell
like-
what that. I can't tell what the photo is.
Looks like
They
just
didn't like.
graphics.
They didn't like the dog expert because she called the defense to offer her knowledge. Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah. God forbid. You know.
That was Russell,
And he
right? That was
treated,
our.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Russell, and he treated her like crap, man. He treated her like crap.
Yeah,
That
but she stood
was.
her ground, though. She stood her ground.
Oh, she did. Absolutely. She's a tough lady. She's tough. You're not gonna, I mean, look, she's an ER nurse for 30 years. What are you gonna
Cop to begin with. She was a cop
and a
too.
cop. She was a cop and a nurse. Yeah, you're not gonna hurt her.
Yeah.
I got another super from Blessed in Texas. Thank you. She could have had a panic attack over a family issue.
That is true.
In fact,
Yeah.
could be why she left bench and rescheduled the trial. Don't always think conspiracy. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't thinking conspiracy. I was just thinking, wondering what was on there or what was said that got her so upset. But like you said, it could be a lot of things. It could be something not even to do with this case. And if she's medical, then we hope Aunt Bev is doing well.
I watched Mentally Little, and she didn't seem to be too concerned about it. So,
Mandalay Little.
right now, I was eating some ice earlier today, and my tongue is numb. I can't talk. Melanie Little.
Melanie Little.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if anybody spilled the tea on the donut, the glazed donut thing.
Yeah. Why can't we say
We're cops. We're cops. We can say glazed donut because that's what we eat.
glazed donut, chocolate donut? Actually,
I know.
any donut.
I know.
I never met a donut I didn't like.
Oh.
Especially
Have you guys met on that person yet?
only
I don't know what that says.
Only Nana yet? Nana?
Non-Gallagher?
Only Gallagher? No.
I agree with this. She said that when she was shaking, she said that the whatever they're talking about was of grave concern for the defense.
Oh, that's right. She did say that. She
Mhm.
did say a grave concern.
Mhm.
Okay. So gets a little deeper. It's getting a little deeper.
I'm not gonna read into it, man. I'm telling you. But we are dealing with Auntie Bev, so who knows what she will decide and take a little gavel and say, "Badoosh, done that button."
Yep, she might. She could. But yeah, she did say grave.
And she was looking at the defense when she said that too. So
right.
And
so like
Jack-
in A Few Good Men, grave danger. Oh, you mean danger? Is there any other kind?
yeah,
Yeah, danger is danger. Grave danger, pretty bad.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Brian Jr.'s Frozen Donuts says it's a real pic that Turtle Boy got from somebody. So it may be, but how do you explain an AI tattoo? Is there any other photos of his arm with that same tattoo? I've used a lot of AI. If you saw the video of Brian speaking Spanish, that was me messing with AI. So,
Is that possible? I mean, if his
look,
tattoos are out, can AI mimic them, like copy them? I'm assuming, yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, but AI, if you tell AI to make a tattoo that says LVCopsTV on a buff guy with his shirt off, it'll do that, but a lot of times it has a hard time spelling LVCopsTV. If you look at our Happy New Year AI thing that I did, it's got the three of us from when we were in McDonald's in Canton.
Yeah.
But I took out the background and made it look like Las Vegas with fireworks and stuff.
Yeah, that's
It
cool.
says Happy New Year, but it's not spelled properly.
It's how detailed you give it the script. The script
And
is
also
what
the tool that you're using.
Yeah, that's true.
You're telling me AI can get us to Mars and do everything in the world, but it can't spell?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me? It can't spell?
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. We got some
Well, maybe Elon
milestones.
could teach it to spell. Somebody could teach it to spell, right?
What you got, Steve?
We got some milestones and supers. Leona Henderson became a new member.
Let's go.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Leona.
Deja Vu's been a member for a month.
Thank you, Deja Vu. I love your
Deja Vu,
love your doggy.
Deja Vu
Thank you,
trial
Deja
2.
Vu.
Sorry I'm late. I will watch on replay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick
Yep.
around and go back.
Mm-hmm.
Stick around and find out.
Yep.
Julio's a member for 2 months. Thank you.
Brady is exculpatory evidence.
Sallyport video, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, I was never there. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the Sallyport. Hey, boss, this car is still put together. We better break the light right now.
What's a Sally port? I don't even know what one is.
And we
Go ahead,
got a
Steve.
super from I'm Just a Distractor. Says it has to do with Arcca communication timeline and $23,000 invoice.
So the timeline, so it has to be brought in. I don't know. When does it have to be brought in? It has to be brought in because they said it was violation of discovery and the court order. So if they brought it in after trial started, it's good, right? Or I don't know. We'll have to ask somebody in the chat. When does the communication start? When does the timeline start that it would be good versus bad?
Look, I think that exchange right there was an attempt to mislead everybody, right? By Hinky Panky, right? Because he said the feds handed it over. It wasn't the feds, right?
It wasn't?
It was
Yeah.
the defense that gave him all the information that they were communicating with
Right.
Arcca,
Right. Yeah.
right? So I think Tuesday when Alan Jackson gets back and clears this up,
Right.
Hanky Panky's gonna have mud in his face
Yeah.
and
I
shit in
hope
his
so.
pants
I hope so.
and shit in his
Yeah.
pants. Yep.
I hope so. Because I know the timeline. I know for Arcca for this trial 2, we're good, right? We're good for trial 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trial 1 is behind us, but what was the timeline that was so concerning with the communication with Arcca?
I think because they were still under the feds retaining or something to that effect, that they had a order that they couldn't communicate with Arcca until that order expired. And from what I understand, some of those communications that Hinky Panky was turning out didn't have a date on them. So he's just saying, throwing shit on the wall, see what sticks.
See what sticks. Okay.
And Auntie Bev was like,
Yeah.
eating it up. Grave.
Looks like Melanie was having a live, and some people are popping over. So welcome. We've got
Welcome,
a
guys.
super from Julio. The federal court acted swiftly, remotion about jury finding not guilty on 2 counts. Hearing March 5th for that.
Right. Yep.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a simple guy, and some of this court jargon really does go over my 5'5" frame. So, if I appreciate the chat explaining to us what it means. It really helps us out. That's for sure.
Another from Julio. Bev, how dare you, defense? Also Bev, metadata schmetadata.
Exactly. Exactly. And Hanky Panky was acting like, well, you just drag it over. Okay, but where's the metadata? Because Steve, you know this, when you send a video file, it sends 2 files. It sends the video and the data file with it as well. That's what they want.
Yeah, it's embedded.
Right.
Should be embedded. And I think she left, but I'm going to throw this up here real quick. We got Bonnie out at the courthouse.
Let's go, Bonnie.
What's up, Bonnie?
We're the cop daddies.
Look at 5-0 behind her, like, what is this lady doing?
I hope she turned and faced them first and went like this. Cop
Yeah,
daddies.
exactly.
What's up? And then turned around.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, she represents us a lot out there.
Yeah, great picture, Bonnie. Great picture. I love it.
Rock and roll. Throwing up the horns. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Did that cop have a mask on behind him?
Yeah, he had a little
yeah,
face mask because it's like 20 degrees below zero.
Well, yes, I couldn't tell if it was like a full face thingy or just a matter of whatever.
No, those people are freezing their nuggets off.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, listen, chat, if those who have our merch, send us a picture to our website, to our email. What's our email? It's to ask at LVCopsTV. What is it?
Yeah, you can put it on Twitter if you do, or X if you do that, and just tag us, or you can send to ask@lvcopstv.com, and we will share. I don't know why I haven't been doing this, but I'm going to collect them all and put them, post them.
Little montage.
Well, I repost on Twitter, but I always forget about Instagram, so I'll start putting them there too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got a couple more. So we got rainy day member for month. Invert the Paul pic. The tattoo says Johnny. Mirror self. Okay, yeah, that may be true. I'll look at it again. And also, I don't know if I want to share that on our stream, but we got a super from Ellie regarding the glazed donuts. Someone came forward to Turtle Boy with receipts of Paul O'Keefe sending sex to her and much more. You will have to watch it to understand what happened.
Whoa.
What day was that? Was that on what does he do? Tuesdays or Thursdays and Saturdays? I think he's got one later today. So I'm assuming that was the one earlier this week.
Turtle Boy, man, he is a savage, man. He's savage.
Anybody think we should get Turtle Boy on?
I think we need to try to.
Throw some turtles or some donuts in the chat. And we got Aqua E, a member for 3 months. Thank you.
Let's go, Aqua E. Thank you.
Hola, fellow Vegas folks.
He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Let's go.
777. All right, I'm gonna dip out and look for some questions. I also have that thing queued up too. If you want that, Gonzo, just let me know.
Yeah, let's watch this hanky panky interaction a little bit. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw it on there.
Let me. I gotta get rid of Bonnie.
You guys are glitching.
You're glitching.
Aren't they talking about 2025? They're talking 5G. We don't. They're 6G now. I can't even get a clear signal here at our studio.
I just don't. I don't like his tone, Steve. Have you seen this video at all, Steve?
No, I've seen him. But not
his voice. His voice just kind of. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Before I start this, take a look. Oh man, I'm so far behind. There are too many things going here. All right, here we go. Tazo, please pass the pepper. Laline, Lalo, Tiff.
Wow.
Fairy Raven. So, well, I don't know if this is yes or no.
that might be for us. We're all clowns.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they might enjoy Turtle Boy with you guys. All right. We haven't seen him since November, but
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play this.
Okay.
I sent an email on January 28, 2025 to a number of attorneys at the state police. And I informed counsel in view of the Commonwealth's responsibilities under Brady v. Maryland in Giglio, and most recently set out in McFarland and Graham. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office is inquiring whether the Mass State Police Legal Department and law enforcement officers assigned to the State Police General Headquarters in possession of any relevant materials, statements of Mr. Michael Proctor, witness statements, and any findings relative to the department investigation and hearings relative to this matter. The Commonwealth is under a continuing duty to inquire and obtain all relevant evidence pertaining to witnesses in the matter of Commonwealth v. Karen Reed. All potentially exculpatory and relevant evidence must be disclosed to the defense. Exculpatory evidence is any evidence that would tend to exculpate the defendant and to diminish credibility. Exculpatory evidence also includes any allegations of misconduct that bear upon the truthfulness and the integrity of the investigation or could be read as suggesting bias or would question one's credibility to be impartial. In addition to any obligations under Mass Rule 14, Commonwealth alerts Internal Affairs Division of Massachusetts State Police to an ongoing Mass Rule Criminal Procedure 17 order for the production of records regarding the investigation of Trooper Michael Proctor.
You know what they're talking about right there, Steve or Brian?
I'm glitching like crazy, bro.
Okay. Well, this is where they're talking about Trooper Proctor's investigation that he's going through right now. They
Mhm.
want all the information that's coming out to see if there's any other improprieties or mistakes that he did that correlate with this case.
Right, as they should. Yeah, as they
Yeah.
should.
And they're saying that they're not privy to it because it doesn't has nothing to do with this case. It has absolutely everything to do with this case.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Go ahead, Steve.
yeah, I'm glitching.
To the extent that any records
Fucking
beyond that
pisses
was
me
initially
off.
produced in March 19, 2024, please provide forthwith to the Commonwealth and the
Fucking can't even
defense.
get to a video.
So we are and have made best efforts to provide all of that material. The defense is entitled to it. We cannot force them or compel them, but there is the Rule 17 motion, and we'll continue to abide by our obligation and duty.
Did he say Rule 17?
Yeah.
Number 6 and 7, we do not object. Number 8, there is a difference between Arcca, and we'll discuss that in more detail when we get to the Arcca motion, and expert discovery. We have provided, there is a difference between Arcca as an expert witness and typical expert witnesses. I can assure the court that we provided our entire case file for our accident reconstruction expert. We provided all of our materials for all of our experts. The discussion between the experts, the oral discussion between the experts and me cannot be replicated. If there was anything inconsistent or exculpatory or helpful for the defense, I would reduce it to writing and I would provide it to them. They have all the materials our experts relied upon. They have all of the reports. They have all the raw data. They have the research material. I do not believe that tracking phone calls for a regular expert is possible, number one, and has any relevance whatsoever. It is different for Arcca, and again, I'll delve into that when we talk about Arcca because that is a very unique situation. We have been very broad in our expert disclosures. Written communications, number 9, email, text message between Norfolk County DA's office, law enforcement, and any expert. Again, there's scheduling issues. I've been through emails and text messages, and I have given a healthy production of materials that are relevant, would even suggest any type of bias. And in addition, I've
Hey, Steve,
asked
pause that.
for a production of any statements whatsoever with any.
So did you hear what he said? He said, I've been through all the emails, right? He's been through the emails, not the defense. They didn't do it together. He said, I went through all the emails to see if there's any type of inappropriate communications, right? How does he know what the defense can use? Right?
Mhm.
You don't know. You don't know. So why is he saying I've been through all the emails and I picked out the ones that I feel were improper? That's not right.
Yeah, how about you show all of them and
Yeah.
we'll tell you which ones are improper,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Go
about
ahead,
you?
go
Do you
ahead.
mind if we take a look? Do you mind if we look? I mean, is that
Take
okay?
take a look at these ones, but not these ones.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
That's like missing the 36,000. Well, I found 10. Well, you missed
Any witnesses
36,000,
in this
sir. But
case
yeah, but I
so that I
found
can
10.
review them. And I've received production from 2 troopers in this case that I have to review. I received them at the end of last week, and I'll continually look through all correspondence available to me for Rule 14 materials and provide it.
All right. Any
Rule 14
follow-up,
is
Ms.
just
Little?
disclosure.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So I'll
Discovery
take that
rule?
under advisement. Do you have that Rule 17 paper number?
Your Honor, we don't have the paper number yet for the motion.
Yeah, we'll have to find, I mean, we're
can
over
use that.
500 at this point, so.
Yes.
All right. All
All
right,
right,
so
Steve, that's
next
good.
we'll
That's good.
move on to the so-called Arcca motion, Commonwealth's motion
Yeah.
to exclude employees of Arcca, paper 497, and the
Hey,
opposition 505.
Pause it, Steve.
So, Mr. Brennan?
Pause that shit. Thank you. He didn't hear you, G.
Yeah, I think we've talked about Arcca enough now, so I don't know,
Yeah,
B. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen Tuesday.
yeah,
Tuesday's
yeah.
gonna be a big day.
Yep, February 25th. We'll all be watching to see what's up.
Yeah.
But that's the
Yeah.
Rule 14 was the discovery. What was Rule 17? I heard him mention it, but
Rule 17
I'll look it up.
Rule 17 came after Rule 16 and before Rule 18.
You're so smart, Chief. Thank you. You
Uh,
cleared it all up for me. Thank you very much. Do you see that, people? You see how we communicate? Very simple. And he cleared it up for me. It's between 16 and 18. Thank you. I didn't know that. Now I know.
I heard you say pause it, and I was trying to pause it, but in another tab I have Turtle Boy News open,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a lot of ads and stuff on there, so it freaking boinked my tab. It's not responding. I was gonna show you
Jeez.
the
Turtle Boy
shirtless
messed you up,
picture.
huh? Turtle Boy's site messed you up.
Yeah. So I was gonna, dang it. Oh,
Arcca is a part that all the lives Hank's big performance.
But Dr.
Well,
Dr. Wolf was not Arcca, right?
he wasn't? No, I thought he was.
yeah,
He
yeah.
No,
was.
he was.
Yeah.
Crash
Yeah.
Crash
Crash
Test.
Daddies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's Arcca. Okay. My bad. My mistake.
Yeah, because they had some him and Jackson had some email exchanges where, hey, you asked some good questions, you did good, blah blah blah, and some other points where, if I won't answer, I won't provide that information to the prosecutor,
Right.
kind of stuff like that.
Right.
You guys probably can't see this.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's there we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
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 Possibly from.
Allegedly, this is Paul O'Keefe texting somebody. He said, "How did I do?" They said, "Very well, stronger than I can ever be." He says, "I drank until 4 in the morning because I was mentally fucked up that day." And the person asked the night before or after, and he said night before. They said, "Did you get a hangover?" He said, "I may have been drunk still."
Wow.
That can happen. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well,
Well, you can't blame the guy.
no, I'm not judging him. I'm not judging him. He's a grown man. Can that happen? Drinking that late and still be buzzed in the morning? Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Zoom in on that one, Steve.
What is that?
Oh, it's shrinking. When I try to make it bigger, it shrinks. That's weird. Well, this is Turtle Boy's site, so it's probably gonna, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work well. But you can. That's what I'm talking about there.
Who is that?
And obviously,
That's Paul.
It's inverted because it's a mirror.
I can't see.
Whoa, everything's getting
but-
inverted these days.
We were inverted.
So I don't know, but I know that a lot of people don't like him because he's anti-Karen. But I don't know how I feel about there's a lot of shitty people, and especially involved in this case. But where do you draw the line between personal attacks and the case and doxing and all that stuff? It's
Listen,
tricky in my opinion.
the purpose for the prosecution and the purpose for the defense is to muddy the waters as much as they can, right? And at the end is to be on top of the muddy water and win the conviction or win the freedom, right? So court cases, man, they tend to get pretty dirty, and especially in the background, especially with social media now these days. Because back in the 50s, man, there was no social media or nothing like that. The court was very important. It was very serious. Things have changed dramatically, right?
Yeah.
You have access to more information, and a lot of information now these days, like you guys are talking about, it's AI. It's all generated, and it's almost real. And if you don't do your research, you'll get fooled by it.
Yeah, the chat is talking about Paul bringing up Turtle Boy's kids and some beef going on between them.
That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's never
Well,
bringing people's kids and family.
but I mean, they're civilians, right? They can do that stuff. Is
Well,
it frowned upon? Absolutely, but they can do that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing is a tragedy.
And
Yeah.
now it's worldwide. Is
Mhm.
this not in one town,
Mhm.
one city, one state? It's worldwide,
Yep.
right?
I got some things on my phone I want to read here. Give me a second. We've got a Venmo from Anita Hall for $25.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Anita. And she just says, free Karen Reed.
We're here.
Agreed.
Oops, what's that? Badoosh.
Agreed. And then somebody, I think JC, the Music Man. Yeah. Just says he uploaded the pic to ChatGPT, the pic of Paul, mirror pic, for analysis, and it determined no manipulation or signs of AI generation.
Whoa,
Mm.
that's crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Have him load up the lottery numbers for next week. See what comes up.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna need those.
yeah.
LVCopsTV is about to go worldwide on a big stage.
All right, let me see if there's any more supers, and I can check out for a little bit, throw some stuff on screen for you.
What
If
about
you need-
questions? Any questions? Hey, you got that video of that cop going down that slide to see if it was dangerous or not?
I don't have the one.
The one I sent you guys.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Come
my
on, you got to
computer.
play that. That is the friggin' one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Is that the one where he came out shooting like a bullet?
It says cop. It was back east. The cop goes down a slide to see if it was safe because people were complaining about it. And when you see him go down the slide, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, this slide is very unsafe. It is probably one of the most unsafe slides I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not trying to defend anybody, Sean. I don't know. I'm just me personally. I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. So
Who are you talking about, Paul? You talking about Trooper Paul?
No, he's talking
No,
about
Paul
O'Keefe.
O'Keefe.
Oh, John's brother?
No,
Yeah.
I will
John's-
tell you this. I do believe in an eye for an eye. So if someone does something to me or to somebody else, it's fair game to do the same thing back. Within reason, I mean.
As long as nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, if someone's attacking someone, yes, defend yourself and go on the offense if you need to. I don't know all the details of everything going on, so
Yeah, I don't get into the whole drama part of it as far as outside of court.
That's a fight that we don't need to get into. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not my business. I mean, between Turtle Boy and everybody else, that's his
well,
business.
I know me personally, and luckily I'm on the right side of Turtle Boy, but I wouldn't try to start a beef with him.
I would start beef with anybody. I mean, what are you really going to get from it other than, I mean, maybe
You're going to get exposed, something completely unrelated.
Listen.
correct.
Turtle Boy is like that spider, man. He's got a web that can reach far and wide.
Mm-hmm. He does. He does. And he's from back east too. He's from that area, so like everybody knows him, and he's really putting the work in. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And he's got balls. He's got big balls.
Oh yeah.
Is
being drunk while on the stand an issue?
Yes.
Well, is it illegal?
Yeah. It's not. Well, if you show up to court drunk, I've seen people breath test in court, and the judge holds them in contempt, and they take them right from the courtroom. 30 days in jail for showing up drunk. Yeah.
Well, you're not in the right state of mind. You know what? Because when you're under the influence, you can act erratic, and that's a dangerous situation to be in when you're in a courtroom.
Yeah, I had a domestic with two husband and wife, and they were both alcoholics, and you could tell they were drunk when they came in the courtroom. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. Was court, and he blew like a .23 in court. Yeah. Wow. And the judge was mad. He was so mad. He put them both in jail for 30 days.
Yeah.
So, yep. He can do that to anybody, cop, anybody. You show up drunk, you can't do that. Nope. Now it's kind of late now, if he's just saying that. I don't know whether he can get in trouble from the department or not, or from the judicial system for saying that or admitting that, possibly. I don't know.
Could
Well,
could his testimony be thrown out? Sorry, Steve.
I
but
don't know.
we
That's what I don't
don't know
know.
if it's real. I mean,
Yeah, because they didn't find out then. If he comes back now and says, "Well, I was just kidding," or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. That's up to Aunt Bev and the whole system of what they would want to do with that.
yeah, I'm skeptical about everything. Even like I said, that maybe that photo is real, but whenever I see anything, my first thought is this real? How can
Yeah.
we prove it? Like, oh, John was unalived by the car. Well, how can we prove it? Well, to me, it hasn't been fully proved. So, to me, there's reasonable doubt just with that. So, she's not
Yeah.
guilty. She's not guilty of that, in my opinion.
Correct. In my opinion as well, G's opinion, yeah, the car did not, even if she hit him with the car, it did not unalive him. And there's no consistent injuries with that either, him getting hit by the car.
Does Karen ever state or acknowledge that she actually went backwards when she left the house?
The only time I see her back up was when she hit
Yeah.
O'Keefe's
car.
vehicle. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
in
the
the
only time I
driveway.
see it.
Yeah.
But the only reason why they're saying that she went backwards is because of the data that's in the Lexus.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And, say they're having they're arguing at each other because she back up all, pissed off. Of course.
Does in the U.S. exist some kind of expert in police procedures that testify in court? And why did the Commonwealth not provide body cam recordings from the cops that were on the case? Well, there was no body cam.
There was no
only
body
dash cam. Only dash cam.
Yep.
And they're still not wearing body cam, right?
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
They you know why? Because they don't want to show their nefarious things that they do.
Yeah.
Remember when Hank said that?
Yeah. They're going to try to keep.
Nefarious.
They're going to try to keep body cams away from Canton for a long time, and they can do it. They can just say we don't have the money, and then they can just keep doing what they're doing. Yeah.
She never acknowledged going backwards, but she said she drove slowly away.
Yeah. That probably actually makes more sense.
Mark Stone, the namer of the ride-alongs, he said there's zero proof that the car in reverse data occurred
Right.
on Fairview.
Right. A lot of people are saying that, Gonzo, that the reverse data came from when they backed it up off of the tow truck, right, into the Sally Port. So there's conflicting.
Tiff said they had body cam when they arrested Karen.
Well, yeah, they might have thrown it on to make themselves look good for just the arrest of Karen Reed, and that makes them look like, yeah, well, see, we got body cams now. Look, we're arresting her. But what about the rest of the entire case? Not a single body cam, no footage of anything anywhere, not even a picture of Officer O'Keefe on the yard. Like, come on.
Correct me if I'm wrong, B, but here in Vegas, detectives are not, or just patrol officers have body cams. Detectives do not have body cams, right? Unless you're like a PSU or something that you still have to put a uniform on.
Correct. Yeah, like SWAT has body cams. Even the snipers, they have to set it up next to them. Boom, whatever they're looking at, they have body cams. Patrol body cams. Anybody who's serving warrants, you have to have a body cam on when you're serving a warrant, going through a house. So yeah, detectives don't have to have one on their person, but when they're doing something, they have to have it on. They have to turn it on. When you're going to do a warrant, when you're going to interview somebody, you got to turn it on.
Yeah.
So they don't wear it, but they get issued them.
But every patrol officer is mandated to wear it and turn it on when they interact with the public.
Correct. Like for me and you, we're street cops. You have to have it on. Yep. As soon as you get dispatched to a call, double tap, camera comes on. Even if it's a 20-minute drive, they're catching everything you're doing, saying, listening to.
And let me say this: that incurs a big expense because when you have, for us, I mean, 3,000 body cameras, right? You pay for the equipment for every individual, then you pay for the accessories, then you have to pay for the storage.
That's the most expensive part
of the data, right?
Correct. Yep.
That's where the biggest expense is for departments.
I wish the defense would call Peter Murphy to testify how the Canton cops were trained to properly collect evidence. Yeah, they
Mhm.
were trained properly, people. Remember
Yeah.
that, America. If I don't know if you saw our video with Peter Murphy. Great guy, great officer, 26 years in Canton or 22 years in Canton. And he says they absolutely have policies and procedures on how to pick up evidence. And he says
Yeah.
they ignored those to do what they did. They ignored proper policy and procedure.
But who was it that collected the majority of the evidence? It was a sergeant, lieutenants. It wasn't it wasn't the patrol officers. It might have been CSI, whatever they call CSI. They collected some stuff, but those are the guys that were collecting the data, right? Or the
Yeah.
evidence.
Did CSI collect anything?
I think they
I
might have
don't think
collected a little
CSI. I don't
bit.
think they have anything like.
No, okay.
I don't know.
So
Do they even have CSI? I'm not sure.
when in your career, Brian, have you had a sergeant or lieutenant collect evidence at a crime scene?
Zero.
Right.
Zero.
Right. I mean, we collect if it's a
Zero. They never do.
incident, if it's a major incident, CSI takes over and collects everything, right? But if it's for you and I doing a drug bust on a guy that's on walking, we're gonna collect that evidence. We're gonna collect the pot, the narco paraphernalia, impound it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Let me
not
tell
in a
you
major
something.
crime scene.
Yeah, let me tell you something, people. Sergeants and above try not to do anything. Trust me. They don't want to do work, especially like once you make lieutenant, captain, you're not fitting to do any work. You go to a couple meetings, you have some lunch. That's it. Your day is done. That's a wrap. You're not going out on the street doing stuff. So yeah, sergeants and all them will say, hey, bag that, tag that, make sure you get that, make sure you do that. They'll point and tell you to do it, but they're not going to do it. The reason that I see that these people did it is so they can have it all in-house and quiet, right? And only certain people are touching it, right?
Keeping the
Lieutenant,
circle
sergeant.
small.
So
Keeping the
it's
circle
it's
small.
above the patrol level, right? So they got their secrets up here, and the lay people down here don't know really what's going on. So they're keeping it high up, keeping it tight. You know, like that deputy
Yeah.
chief driving around. He says he saw stuff, evidence in the yard like 2 weeks later. Man, please don't come at me with that bullshit. Deputy chief driving around looking for evidence, please. You could barely even find the police station as a deputy chief. Come on.
Yeah, Scott says that they don't have CSI. They have Captain
Yeah.
police officers assigned to detectives to collect crime scene evidence.
Right. Mm-hmm. But they can pay him $200,000 a year. Yeah. To do what? Drive around. I mean, we have a huge, busy city, and Gonzo and I would make not even 100,000 a year, barely 100,000 a year after 20 years. You're paying these guys 200 grand in a small little town of what, 20,000 people? That is unheard of. That if your county's not looking into misappropriation of funds, or they should be, because no cop 200,000. I mean, we don't need our captains in Vegas don't even make that. They make like 140.
Yeah, Julie, that's exactly what I thought too. Is the car data said that she was going backwards 24 miles an hour, and it could have well be the tire spinning if she did back up. She might have backed up for maybe 5 feet and said, "Well, I'm not going back. I'm going to go forward." So it's possible. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and it could be just from the pulling off the tow truck too. So
yeah.
But again, the evidence. Where's the evidence point us? The evidence does not point us at her getting hit by the car or him getting hit by the car.
Yeah.
And even like I said, even if he did, it didn't unalive him. It didn't, people.
No, I didn't see the letters from the FBI to Morrissey or Morrissey and FBI, but that is what Attorney Little wanted to get. She wants all the documents from all the legal all law enforcement officers and Morrissey. That's what she wants.
Yes. Yeah. They want transcripts. Yep. Yeah.
No, it's crazy how. Listen, my brother was a Idaho State trooper. He was a commander up there, and he came down to Vegas and did a ride along with me one day, and he said to me, "You guys do more shit in one day than I do in a year."
Yeah, and we do. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100%
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys at LV Cops get any rank over the years while you served? No.
We were straight road dogs all the time. I mean,
We were.
the only thing we did is become field trained officers. You know, that's
Right.
the only thing that we wanted to do to keep
Yeah.
our knowledge of as good cops and doing the job right from the beginning to the end, pass that along to the new recruits that were coming through. But we didn't want to. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you. Did I tell you the story? I think I did. So I tested for sergeant.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for this. I'm going to share this with our
Mhm.
viewers here.
Absolutely.
So Carmen
funny.
Donegan, a wonderful woman, she was my supervisor, and at the time I was the senior officer on my squad. And she comes to me, she goes, "Gonzo, you need to test for sergeant." I said, "No, I don't want to." So I leave and do my work, and she calls me into the office at 2 in the morning. And she slides this big stack of paper to me. She goes, "Hey, this is all you need to know for the sergeant's test. If you need time off, you want me to help you, I can, organize meetings with other people." So I took that stuff, put it in my trunk, and didn't open a freaking book.
Oh.
So 3 months go by. I go to work. She goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "I'm working." She goes, "Tomorrow's your test. Go review your notes." I said, "Sure. I'll take a day off." I had no notes to review. I go to the South Point. What was it? The
Free day off. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Sun. What is it? Sun Point Casino.
South Point. South
South
Point.
Point. So we went there, and there was like 400 or 500 other new officers that were trying to test for sergeant. I take the
Right.
test, and it's all multiple choice. You just circle the dot, circle the dot.
Mhm. Right.
So I'm done. I go take my little Scantron up to the lady. There's two ladies. One is talking to me. The other one takes the test and runs it through the Scantron. So
Yeah.
she's talking to me about if I was going to rebuttal any questions and what the process was.
Yeah.
Out of the corner of my eye, I could see the lady running through the Scantron and write down an 85. No testing, Brian.
You
85,
aced it.
bro.
You aced
I
it.
did. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, holy crap, if I would have studied, I might have been able to pass this thing.
I'm gonna be a sergeant. Yeah.
So she says, rebuttal questions are at 3 o'clock. You're welcome to come back. So she slides the test over to me and turns it right side up, and it was a 58.
Because it was inverted. It was inverted. Okay. And then you were in
It
shock
was-
and horror. You were in shock and horror to see your 58.
She goes, "Are you going to come back and rebuttal some questions?" Like, I'm not going to come back and revert 30 questions.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't rebuke freaking 40 questions. Yeah.
So
No,
that
we
was
were-
my experience of testing.
Yeah. We were road dogs. I liked being out on the street. Once you promote, you're not a cop anymore. You're not. You're just not. And
You lose the connection with the public.
you do. And I loved being out on the street, making a difference, being the light in the darkness of people's lives. And if you promote, that changes. Now you can help guide and make good cops. But to me, it was more important in my life to help citizens than guide good cops. Makes sense?
Just one. All you need to do is help one, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your task and your mission for the day is accomplished, right?
Yep.
Every day that we went out there, we needed to make a difference in somebody's life. Like you say at the
Yeah.
end of our videos, right? Make a difference. And that applies to everybody,
Yeah.
everybody in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Because you never know. You might be standing next to somebody who's having a hell of a time holding it together. What you
Yeah.
do and what you say can make a difference in that person's life. And nobody wants to
100%.
see a cop. Nobody wants to see a cop in their house. So if you can make your interaction with that person a little bit better,
Yep.
you've won the day.
B was an instructor. I taught at the police academy. I did the academy 5 of 05. Didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
I'm a cop, I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
So I did one academy and then went back to the streets.
That's when you
And that's
found me,
when,
Mike. That's when you found
That's
me.
that's when I met G.
Yeah.
And then they thought I was a plant.
Yep.
But
Yep.
we won't
We
go
need to
into that.
show-
We won't go into that.
We need a show with Spicy Mazza. Yeah, let's do it. Who's Spicy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Mazza. Yeah.
Maz. That's me.
Maz. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's tall, dude.
Yeah, we
Of
need
course,
to,
everybody
I
to me is
know.
tall, but he's tall.
everybody's tall to you. He's tall to me. He's like 6'6".
Yeah. I didn't like how he was looking down at me all the time.
Well, you were staring up his nose the whole time. You know what I mean? Look at all those nose hairs.
And there he
Hold
is
on,
right there.
I got that
There he
right
is
there.
right
I
there. There he is, right there.
He grew another
Oh.
2 inches since we saw him last. Now he's like 6'9".
Exactly. Exactly. Intimidating guy, man. I'm telling you.
And he's
But
like, he
anyway.
does martial arts. He's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fighting Bruce Lee.
I wouldn't want to tangle with that guy.
Nope.
What do you got, Steve?
I'm just coming in. We're about 90 minutes deep.
Yeah.
Between X and YouTube, we've got about 1,200 people watching. So thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Please take a second and click the like. I know
Got any good
Maz
questions?
is in the chat. I don't know if he's available to pop on for a minute or not, or if you guys want to
Yeah, throw him in for a minute.
bring in hey Maz, if you're interested in joining, say something in the chat and I'll send you a link over on YouTube, on X. My brain. I think I was trying to scan through everyone who had like the question marks and stuff, and I got most of them on there.
Friggin'
Hey,
glitching.
I'm gonna step back for a second. My back teeth are floating. I'll be right back.
What?
He said he quits.
What's going on?
So he quits. We need a new cop.
What?
So if there's any cops
shit.
out there,
Again?
where's
This
this?
is the
Where's
third one this
the
month, man.
where's the highway patrol guy who's always in the chat?
Who's that? James. James, you out there? You watching? James? I might need you.
Yeah, I don't see a response from Maz. I don't know if he ditched us already or not.
He's a busy guy.
Tell you
Saturday, man. A lot of people are busy on Saturdays doing stuff.
We got a super from Please Pass the Pepper. She says she's 5'10", and meeting Mazza was refreshing. Yeah, I'm 6'2", and I was looking up at him.
5'10" for a girl. Yeah, that's pretty tall. What?
Well, we got
You're
about 30
glitching, man.
minutes. Are you cool with me just throwing the link in the chat to bring whoever wants to join on and let them ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Sure. All right. Let me.
Yeah. Unless we just have questions in the chat. If people are blowing up the chat, I don't know. I can't see it. I didn't get my new iPad yet, people. I did not. But I'll tell you what, I did order the holster that I've been talking about for 2 years. That was $100. I did order that. It should be coming any day. But I have not got a new iPad yet. I got to save. Actually, got to save money in case I got to pay the tax man. You know, I find it very disturbing that America can blow $5 trillion, but yet I got to save my money and put it aside for taxes because single income, household with 4 kids, the IRS make sure they get their money. So I can't get the iPad until taxes.
I went ahead and put the link in the chat. I'll pin it here in a second. So Mazza, yeah, you can join with just audio if you want, since you're out and about. I gotta pop off and pin it, so I'll be right back. You're in charge, B. Oh, Gonzo's back.
Yeah.
I'm in charge.
Whoa.
Welcome, my people. Oh, what
Yeah.
are you doing back? I thought you quit.
Had to go talk to man about a little pony.
Oh, okay. You're back. Steve, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah. Had to go to the restroom. I've been drinking water like crazy.
Me too, man. Gotta stay hydrated. I rolled yesterday. I lost a couple of pounds rolling.
We were doing some DTs yesterday, so it was fun.
Yeah, we had that coming up too. Like 3 hours worth or something, right?
Yeah. It was fun. It was
no,
fun.
no. I was a DTI, a defensive tactics instructor for Metro for my whole career. And then I was a firearms instructor my whole career as well. And I taught at the academy. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. But you know what? Nothing's like being out on the street. When you're out and you got that window cracked or the window down and you're feeling the vibes of Las Vegas on a summer night, man, you got a good song on the radio. Woo!
Then all of a sudden,
Doesn't get any better than that.
all of a sudden you get the tone alerts,
Yeah.
right?
And you're like,
Ear perk ups. Let's go. It's about to get down, right?
oh, you get a hot call, right? You get a hot call. It's 95 degrees. You got the windows down. Van Halen, Panama comes on. You crank that shit up. Oh,
I didn't.
That's living.
I turned it down because I wanted to hear what was going on.
Oh, that's living right there. Oh, hell no, man. I could crank Van Halen on 10, listen and hear everything on that police radio, drive with my knees and eat a sandwich and have a drink at the same time, rolling code.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's how once you've been doing it for a long time, all you cops out there, let me hear it. Let me throw out a thumbs up. You know what I'm talking about, right? Driving with the knee, eating on your way to a hot call.
The benefit to that is that we were a graveyard, so it was less traffic.
Correct.
For
Yeah,
us.
less traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey guys, there's some zip through some yeah.
Who do you
There's some-
think actually killed John O'Keefe?
Yeah,
That's
that.
the motive.
Who do you think?
Listen, me and Brian and I watched the video when they were at the bar, and No Game Higgy was back there plotting something, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you get that liquid in you, and you get that courage, and you get that machismo in you, and something went down in that house. And I don't think it was just one person. I think he got jumped by a couple, right?
Yeah.
And I think No Game Higgy had something to do with it.
Speed metal.
A lot to do with it. You agree, Brian?
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Gonzo and I opinion is that we think he was unalived in the house by a couple of guys and a dog.
Well,
And-
the initial attack was in the house, and he's probably not quite unalived yet until they put him outside.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I meant. We think the attack happened inside the house. Then they brought him outside, and then the rest is history, as we know. But that's what we think, because of the damages, right? The bites on the arm was not from a car; it's from a dog. The punches and everything to the face. The EMT said right off the bat, looked like he'd been in a fight. Even the cop said, looks like he's been in a fight, because he was in a fight. Okay,
Yep.
if it looks like it, it is. So he got beat in the face, and then he had skull fractures, like 3 or 4 skull fractures to the back of his head. Even if Karen hit him, even if she hit his head, wouldn't do that. He hits the ground. Did he hit cement? No, he hit grass. Ain't gonna do that. Even if it's frozen grass, it's not gonna crack your skull. You'd have to fall from over 100 feet to really crack your head, right? Unless you hit cement.
You know what?
So,
Crack that will
something
be
hit him in the back of the head in that house.
It was
And
it
that's
was
what
one of
broke
those
his skull.
It was one of those weight plates, one of those plates that they had downstairs in the weight room. That's what it was. 10-pound weight hit him in the back of the head.
I can't hear you. You're glitching. We need a new studio. Can't even get internet in here. What the freak, man? They're talking 6G. I don't even see 5G. I'm working with 3G over here, maybe 2G. You guys there?
You're working with
Is
1G.
this thing on?
Me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, 1G. That's right. Yeah.
What I was saying is, what caused that laceration and that skull fracture was a 10-pound plate that they had downstairs in the weight room.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weights, or they punched him a couple times in the face and he fell and hit his head. But hitting your head once, if you fall straight back, you will have a nice contusion, right? And then you'll get the skull fracture of the back of the head, one spot. He had 3 spots, right? 3 spots. That means he was hit 3 different times.
Hey
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Welcome Mazza.
Mazza.
Whoa, Mazza.
Mazza. Where's he at? I don't
You
see
there,
him.
bud?
No, he's going to be audio only.
Oh,
Mazza.
Maz.
Hello.
You there?
Yo,
Hello.
there you are. We got you. We got
All
you,
right,
brother.
What's going on, guys? How you been?
Good, man. You?
Doing good. Trying to stay warm over here in cold Massachusetts. It's cold out here. Hard of winter right now. It's crazy.
Ooh. It's a breezy 65 here, so
Oh,
I'm
boy.
with you. I don't like even 65 is a little cold for me. I like 80s, 90s.
Oh boy, we still get the same snow sitting on the property all over the place. There's snow everywhere. That's from last weekend. It hasn't even melted yet. So that's the situation we're in over here.
You've been staying
heard of
busy,
snow.
Mazza?
Oh, very very busy. That's a fact. Very very.
We lost him for a
LTL
minute.
studio tomorrow to do a
Glitching.
show.
Yeah. So what do you think of all this shit that's coming out right now? Do you think it has any weight with the Arcca hanky panky stuff? What's your opinion?
Well, I think they're desperate. and they're trying to do anything they can to try to get Alan Jackson out of there. And really, I think ultimately, even if it doesn't pan out for them, they're trying to get, I think they're trying to get in the defense's head, if anything, if they can. And I don't think that's going to succeed. They're just trying to create more obstacles, is my opinion.
Yep.
And I just don't think they're going to prevail. I think
Yep.
they know it's a dud. They know they're throwing a dud at them, and it's not
Yep.
going to do anything. It's more tactics from them. I think that the prosecution knows that they have nothing. They're just trying to come up with anything they can, again, to create obstacles, to create anything they can to muddy the waters and create more problems for the defense. Because it's like in sports. It's like when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear. He did that because Evander Holyfield was getting the better of him in the ring, and he had to resort to underhanded tactics to try to get back in that fight, ended up getting disqualified. It's kind of how I see the prosecution right now. They don't have anything of substance. They don't have anything of quality. They don't have anything that they can do to really put Karen Reed in jail. And all they can use is these underhanded tactics to try to shut her down and her and her team down. It's not going to work.
Boy, that is a great analogy, man. You're right. They are desperate, and they're flinging everything at the wall to see what sticks. And the thing that worries me though is Auntie Bev. That's the unknown. What she's going to say, how she's going to rule in some of these motions that they're filing. That's the problem with me, I think, is Auntie Bev's not. She's biased. She's not. I mean, she's not biased. She's already to the right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point. She isn't even. You're right. She isn't even showing bias. She's already on a side. There is no objectivity at all in her court. She's a one-sided judge, and that's all. And that's a fact. And you're right. I've said for a long time. I'm sure you guys have as well, and many others. The judge is the biggest problem here. She was the one that declared a mistrial, which was really unprecedented in a situation where you had a jury that was pretty definitive on 2 of the 3 counts. And I just personally think that this judge is rattled right now in a big, big way. And I don't think that her shaking had anything to do with what the prosecution brought to her attention. I think that something's come out and she knows about it. And I think it's from a federal level. And I think she's very, very concerned right now because it's just not normal for her to shake like that. I mean, okay, the prosecution had brought something to her attention. What, she's really going to start shaking and rattling and getting all nervous about this stuff when there's more out there? I'm sure there's something federally came down the pipe for her. She needed to get out of the courtroom, needed to call a recess. It was very uncommon from her behavior. We've all seen her for a long, long time. I had Nan Gallagher on my show recently. It was the first thing I think I said when she was on there. Could you believe what the judge did? The way she called a recess, the way she was shaking. This was all behavior that we've never seen out of her. And if she is going to display this kind of behavior, then it's obvious to me, and I think many, many others, that something was going on in that courtroom that was not mentioned in that particular courtroom. And it was very, very much different than what we've ever seen before.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It definitely wasn't her character. You know, I when I first saw that, you know, I kind of thought, gosh, is she low blood sugar or something to that effect?
Right. Seriously.
You know, it was just not normal for her to kind of have that kind of reaction because there's been some dramatic shit that's been coming out during the process of this case that would have the same type of emotions or impact. And none of that happened in the past. So you're probably right. It's something that's behind the table that's got her attention in a big way.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too, because she looked like someone that was, you ever see people faint? Like there's been times like people just go into a panic because they know they've been found out and they just lose control of their body. That was kind of, to me, what I saw with my own eyes visually, especially in the video Microdots made that broke it down and zoomed in a lot more on her mannerisms. She was shaking like she knew something was coming down on herself that she couldn't overcome. That was, to me, if no volume, no context, no nothing, I would just look at her body language that day and say, this was a person that was fearing for her own future based on what I saw out of her, without question.
Wow, that's crazy. It's funny that you bring up body language, right? Because that's what we all do. We all watch everybody's body language, what it tells, what it doesn't tell, when they're telling the truth and when they're being deceptive. And when you look at somebody's body language and it's not the same, you know something's really seriously up. Yep. That's for sure.
Exactly. I mean, you guys are cops. I mean, you guys have probably had a lot of experiences where maybe you've arrested somebody's kid and you've had to tell their mother, and you've seen their mother probably not expect that their kid was basically a delinquent. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden their mother goes into a panic, like, oh my God, what has my son done? What is, and sometimes you've probably seen mothers or maybe even fathers go into panics in situations like that. So that's kind of, to me, the kind of reaction I saw out of her. It was very, very notable. And to me, Auntie Bev has really been, in my opinion, unshakable for a long time. No matter what things have happened in that courtroom, going back to the pre-trial, before the first trial, or between then and now, we've never seen her legitimately trembling with
Mhm.
all-out fear. I mean, it was something
Yeah.
else, and it was, for me, very telling. And the only thing I could possibly think that could possibly shake her to that level is that there's something federally that came out. Now, this is my particular estimation at this particular point. If you want my honest opinion, what I think is, I think that the feds know about the emails with Michael Morrissey, and she's on there, and they know there's been some dirty, those burner emails they never expected to be known. And I'm guessing that the feds must have come down on that. And I guess it's cheesybanana at AOL was his email address or whatever. And I said this, yeah. I was on the Young Jerks months ago with Mark Betterow and Mike, and I said to Mark Betterow, I made a comment. I go, now what if Judge Beverly Cannone is in those emails, or and maybe it's not her legitimate email, maybe it's her, maybe she has a burner email too, but they could trace that back to her. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking probably it might have something, because the biggest link that they could possibly get to bring her down would have to be Michael Morrissey's burner emails. And if they get access to that information and they find an email address corresponding with that, his email address, that's something that shows a lot. You know what? This whole thing's getting cracked open, and she's, some people are saying, oh, she has immunity. I've heard a few things out there, and this is still unverified, and I don't want to get anybody hyped up right now. But there's things that I'm understanding that she may not have the immunity we may suspect that she does, due to some associations that she's a part of from a judicial standpoint. These are just rumors. These are unfounded. These are not verified things I'm saying. But I just want to make sure that that's made known to everybody. But all I'll say is this, is it might be possible that she may not have the immunity she has. And then some might say, well, how can you be so sure? Well, again, I cite this back to you again, which is, look at the way she was shaking. And if she was someone that had immunity in any situation, why would she be so rattled? Those are arguments I make. And these are all theories. These are all my personal opinions. These are unfounded. These are speculations. This is not to get anybody hyped up. These are just things that could be essentially looked at as possibilities, projections, just things that could be, possible. These are the things I'm theorizing right now in my head. I'm wondering, but this past week's got me thinking a lot, with a lot of different theories and a lot of possible scenarios. And I'm like Tom Cruise in the movie Jack Reacher. I like to have more than one theory.
Got a boy. Let me throw you a curveball.
Sure.
What do you think about Hanky Panky trying to discredit Betterow?
Yeah, that's for me, obviously, most of us know I've been on a lot of shows with him, and if all I'll say is, if I was in Hank Brennan's shoes, I'd be doing the same thing he is, because I would be absolutely worried about Mark Betterow coming on this team as well. And, while he cites in legal fairness that Karen can have all the representation she would like, he knows that Mark Betterow is a baller. And additionally, another thing about Mark is that he's not like Robert Alessi. He's not an attorney that's just coming onto this situation that's unaware of everything that's going on. Mark Betterow is extremely educated on this whole thing, going right into the Turtle Boy thing. But I would say this, if I was the prosecutor in this situation, I'd be trying to do the same thing as well, because I wouldn't in any case, any circumstances at all, ever have to face off against Mark Betterow, because Mark Betterow is big time. I keep calling him Adam Vinatieri. He's not coming on this defense team to be Tom Brady or Randy Moss or Corey Dillon. He's coming on this to be basically Adam Vinatieri. He's going to knock down those big-time field goals for you, and those big-time field goals can be game winners that win you Super Bowl games and Super Bowls and all that. And like I said, if I'm the prosecutor, I don't want to face him. And honestly, what he did to try to discredit Betterow is exactly what I expected. And I don't think it's going to succeed. I think that ultimately Mark has the right to represent any client he wants, regardless of any associations between both cases. And it's interesting that they want to try to discredit Mark for having his hand in two different cases when they try to ignore in that same day in the hearing the fact that particular people that are witnesses for the Commonwealth actually were involved in the Sandra Birchmore case.
Exactly.
You know, and they want to look at, you know, well, Beto was involved in this. Well, what about all your witnesses? Now you want to tell us that these particular officers, you know, the whole list of them are not, you know, their relevancy to their involvement in the Sandra Birchmore matter is irrelevant to the Karen Reed case. It's amazing how they're swinging the door whichever way they'd like to
Exactly.
You know, best position themselves for a position of strength, which they don't have.
Beto to me is the only person I can see eye to eye. Get it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think he's smaller than you, Chief.
Yeah.
He's a little shorter than you, I think.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff, Mazza. That's good stuff, man. I'm telling you, you're right 100% because there is trash on both sides of the street, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's the problem that and Judge Bev is the garbage truck. She can pick which one to throw out and which one not to throw out.
Right.
That's the how I want to say it, the what's the word I'm looking for? The unknown. I can't remember. Screw it.
Yeah.
But she's the unknown. She's the unknown.
Yeah, the unknown factor.
Yeah.
And now that's
Yeah,
a great
exactly.
point. Some were voting. You know, there was a Turtle Boy had a show I think about a week ago, and he polled the audience. You know, would you guys prefer a bench trial or a jury? And I would say to everybody, you know, I know most of the people did vote for a jury for the next trial, but I would say this: you want a jury again, regardless of what happened, because you don't want a bench trial. And I think maybe some people out there might have been thinking maybe if it goes to bench, you don't. Number one, you don't want Auntie Bev to have Karen Reed's fate in her hand. And number two, even though she did. There was a particular case where it was a bench trial and she dismissed the witnesses of any wrongdoing. You know, that particular case is not necessarily what we'd call a Commonwealth or state-based cover-up where people have vested interest in the outcome of that particular case. So while Judge Cannoni did rule correctly in that bench trial, I would not expect the same favor to Karen Reed, and I would just use my evidence as saying, refer back to the first trial and everything we've fought for in terms of getting things escalated to the Massachusetts Supreme Court, and now what's going to be the federal level. It's not someone. She's not someone I would trust, and honestly, I'd rather see Karen Reed go before a jury 1,000 times over 1,000 trials till we're all basically no longer alive and old and gone before I'd ever want to trust Karen Reed's fate. In this particular judge, you know, because she is, like we said, biased Bev, and she's got certain parameters that she's following to not favor her.
Well, this is not a normal case. You got a dead officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the potential of corruption. You have the potential of falsifying reports to put an innocent woman in jail for the rest of her life. This is a worldwide case. So it has to be a jury because if you, like you're saying, if you put it in the hands of one person, that's not a good look. That's not a good look.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. It needs to go to jury. And like I said, I think, you know, I believe that the defense did essentially everything they needed to do in the first trial. They got 2 12-0 rulings by the jury. The second count was very much against them, 8-4. But I think that there's not that big of a window that they need to overcome to kind of finesse that. The real sad part's that at least counts 1 and counts 3 didn't get dismissed, and all I'd have to do is concentrate. And that's really what kind of, you know, stirs me up with negativity is the anguish of, okay, here's a second trial, but it's not, you know, if it was just for count 2 again, okay, fine, that's great. Count 1 and 3 are off the board. Now we got to kind of go through this whole thing, top to bottom, inside and out all over again. That's really what the most annoying part is, because at least, you know, it's like a controversial, it's like the 2000 election, right? It was very controversial for, you know, one party. It was not controversial for the other. But at the end of the day, all the states were kind of decided except for Florida. Then it just became all about Florida. That's kind of how I'd like to see another trial continue, where it's like, okay, 1 and 3 are off the board now. Now it's just a dogfight over count 2. And, you know, that's where the battle's fought. But now it's kind of like, it's almost like resetting an entire situation where now it's like, okay, now back to the beginning and bringing all these witnesses again and fight the same fight. It's very, very much tiresome. And it's done by design because obviously at the end of the day, they want to draw as much money out of Karen Reed's pockets as possible. This is a woman that's
Yep.
spending millions of dollars right now
Yep.
to defend herself, and we're closing in, probably in the next month or two, we're probably going to be real close to $1 million in funds raised for Karen, and they
That's
intend
awesome.
to drain every penny of that. And Karen, in fairness, that's going directly to her defense, their attorney's office, and they hate that about that. They just want to drain her out of as many finances as possible, and even us as resources. People that are donating money. We guys, I'm sure, have done fundraisers or contributed money. I'm doing that, a fundraiser Thursday night, and we're doing everything we can. But it's this Commonwealth that just wants to try to win the financial, and it's become a political campaign, is what it is. It's Karen Reed and her donors essentially versus the entire. And this is even bigger than a murder trial. This is basically Karen Reed legitimately versus the state. Never mind the Commonwealth. This is her versus versus the world, essentially. I mean, this is madness.
Let me ask you one more question.
Sure.
What and how does double jeopardy come into play to this?
Yeah. Double jeopardy is something that is shockingly being not in any way, shape, or form properly considered by the Supreme Court in Massachusetts, which is an absolute atrocity. The fact that you have jurors that have come forward, including most recently Ronnie, the juror who was on Turtle Boy a week ago, and this is madness that essentially she has been acquitted of 2 charges, but in the court of law that is not on record. This has basically been swept under the rug, and it's madness that her constitutional rights have been swept under. Now, I think the defense, and I think David Yannetti, and the team had the intent all along to take this to the federal level, because I think they probably projected. I don't even think they were even shocked by the ruling, quite honestly, when the Massachusetts Supreme Court denied it. I think they were like, "Yep, this is about what we expected," because again, you're still playing in the Massachusetts is, it's Massachusetts, it's home field, right? So now you got to get out of there. You got to push it to the federal level, but you have to go through certain levels first. You just can't go federal before you go state. And if you don't get the results you want, now you got to escalate. So it's definitely double jeopardy. It's a big concern that her constitutional rights are being infringed on, that she did not receive a proper trial first time around, and that jury, and me and Nan Gallagher talked about this recently. Why was the judge so quick to dismiss it, kick the jury out? Some have said that are on the opposition have said, well, the defense could have stepped up and said something. Well, I think they were taken by surprise. I don't think that they exactly knew what the jury was deadlocked on, and that new information wasn't learned till later. And I don't think the judge really gave the defense a proper opportunity to speak up, ask questions, and it was kind of a momentary, almost like a bait and switch without a bait and switch actually taking place.
Right.
Quick, bing, bang, boom, out the door, over, done. And it was great at the time that Karen didn't, face any convictions. There was no guilty verdict, but at the same time, it was like, well, that's a relief. But now it's like back to square one. And what happened in the coming days with jurors coming out and saying, hey, we were 12-0 on 2 accounts, clearly without any, it was absolutely undisputed. And it's just insane that, this is blatant double jeopardy, and the defense is right to take it to the federal level. And it's an absolute concern that someone that's a taxpaying citizen of Massachusetts, like Karen Reed is having her rights, constitutional rights, infringed on after a jury properly deliberated on at least 2 of those 3 counts. That's very, very sickening to me, Gonzo.
I think everybody's getting snowballed, my guy. I really do. I really think that they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Yeah.
But listen, man, that's a great wealth of information you just gave us, my guy. I appreciate it 100%. Shoot.
No problem.
But like you're saying, just so our chat knows that our merch, anything that we sell from our merch, goes 100% of the proceeds go to Karen Reed to help fight the cause. So whoever's on there watching this, buy some stuff and let's help the cause.
Yep. Doesn't go to us, goes to Karen.
That's awesome, guys. You guys are the best. That is so awesome.
So we need to have you on our show on a future episode, and we'll go to your show whenever you want us to go. Yeah. And show our ugly mugs there and make your crowd happy.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, we'll definitely collaborate. We'll do at least a 2-show package. I'm on your show. You guys come on my show. We'll kind of collaborate in the coming weeks and maybe take 2 separate weeks to do one show and then alternate. That'd be awesome, guys. I
Can
definitely would
you?
like to come on your show, and it was great meeting you guys last November as well.
Oh my
Really,
goodness.
really
It was
pumped up.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. I
It was
appreciate
awesome.
your friendship right now.
absolutely.
You got a minute? You got a
Yeah.
minute, Mazza?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, do we have any questions or anything like that for Mazza from the chat?
Well, we've got a super chat from Susan Steele. She just said, not a question. She said, watching my favorite cops all the way from beautiful South Africa.
Wow.
Man,
Susan.
And
Thank
there
you.
South
was,
Africa.
yes, thank you, Susan. There were some questions, real quick for you guys. Do you know any pro fighters who would weigh in on John's injuries?
Yeah, I know some pro fighters, and yeah, I could ask them. But I'm telling you, just from Gonzo and I alone, from what we've seen in our over 20 years of policing together, it's I don't even need to ask a pro fighter because I've seen it enough.
it's the
Right.
same thing with Enrique. It's the same thing with Enrique.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know,
Same with Enrique. Enrique was not a boxing match. That was
a
a
beat down.
literal beat down, a death beat down, or they took him up and they threw him off of a building because that's
Sure.
the only way to sustain those kind of injuries.
Absolutely. No question about it.
Is there any new information coming out on Enrique, Mazza? Because everything's hush hush over there.
I know Brian had Todd McGee on recently. I know that there were some state senators that had, I think it's state senators that had inquired to the Massachusetts State Police about some more information. I don't know the full details, but I know that there was an internal political inquiry about all that lately. And I can tell you, someone does martial arts on a weekly basis. This past week, I had a mouthpiece on, boxing gloves on, we're throwing. Nobody in that class this week sustained any injuries that were so much as a scratch on their face or anything. And to be beaten up like Enrique was in a controlled environment is like
Exactly.
beyond extreme. That would not be caused if proper procedures were taking place in a controlled.
Exactly.
It was a homicide. It was a
Yeah, oh, yeah.
homicide.
Oh, yeah.
It was a homicide. Straight up, it was a homicide. There was no training involved. It was a homicide. And now we
For
just
sure.
need to figure out who did it and why.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we're approaching the top of the hour, so we need to wrap up. Mazza, thank you so much for
Thank you,
jumping in.
Mazza.
Thank you, Mazza.
Have a good time, guys. Good night, guys.
And,
Later, buddy.
All right.
Later.
Thank
We'll be
you.
in touch soon.
Somebody was giving me grief in the chat because I did not state what we were going to be talking about on today's episode. We weren't even sure if we were going to go live today. We have a tell us video ready, but we decided, no, let's just go ahead and go live. Save that for later. Most likely talk about Karen Reed updates, but when I threw that up, I'm not sure. I'll update the thumbnail. I know it's a little late, just so for replay people, but
Yeah.
normally we do let you know what we're going to talk about. We didn't this time. If we don't say anything, it's pretty much about whatever the chat wants to talk about. So, big Karen
We
Reed.
wing it at LVCopsTV. You must be new because we wing it here a lot. And sometimes we'll go down one road and then we go down a whole nother road. So sometimes you just never know what you're going to get. That's why you got to tune in and you got to watch the whole video. You never
It's
know.
a surprise. If someone wants to know if you guys ever get called to the Pawn Stars shop.
I went there
Well,
one
what would
time
you-
just to check it out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, when it was big back in the TV show, I went just to see what the hype was about, and the line was around the building. Have we ever gotten called there? No, I've never been there on a call. I mean, that was out of my area. That was downtown area command, so it would have been downtown units that responded to that. Gonzo, you never went there. You never worked downtown, so.
No, although I'll say this, my son was actually on the show because one of his friends had this really cool jacket, and it was worth like $45,000, and they tried to offer him like 15, and he kept it. 15 grand.
15 grand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a super from Jody Mitchell. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
She says, great
Much
show,
appreciated.
gentlemen. She's heading to Vegas next month for a concert. Got to get me some LV Cops gear.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What concert are you seeing?
Concert, who you seeing? Who you going to see?
The Dead, the same that Little's going to
Oh,
probably.
she's going to see the Dead at the Sphere. Okay.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, my uncle's coming out for that.
Oh, we want to, yeah, actually, Brian's shouting, pause it, Steve.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I gave you
What's that?
I gave you that little, what's that thing? I sent you the
Graphic?
graphic for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
have the graphic.
Oh, for
We need to fix
the
the finger
pause
though.
it, Steve. Yeah, you need to get the
okay.
whole. And then you didn't pause it, so I had to yell at you.
Yeah, it's
You're
true.
staring at me.
Sometimes
I
I
said
try to
pause it,
pause
pause
it,
it.
but hey, computers don't pause
I think
instantly
Steve
sometimes.
Yeah.
he froze. He got freaked out and he froze. He panicked
Yep.
because I was
Yep.
yelling at him.
Yep.
All right, I got nothing else for you guys, so I
All right.
am
We'll end
going to
it.
All right.
jump. I just want to thank all the mods and everyone in the chat in both YouTube and X. We appreciate you. You come on here, you don't know what the heck we're talking about, but you're here anyway for it, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's awesome. So thank you so much for all of your support, and have a good one.
Thanks, Steve. So,
Yeah, we
Brian.
talk about all kinds of different stuff. So sometimes
Yeah.
when you tune into LV Cops TV, you never know. Even though our thumbnail might say one thing, we could lead to another. Why? Because G and I have thousands and thousands of stories, and
It's
sometimes it's just
it's like a shell
sometimes you
game.
just
You don't
gotta,
know what you're gonna get, right? Or like
yeah,
a box of
sometimes you gotta go off.
chocolates. Like a box of
Yeah,
chocolates, right?
that's right. We are very
So
unscripted here. We had a little bit of notes on what we wanted to talk to about Karen, and then
well,
next thing
B
you know,
said, B
Maz
said,
is joining us.
B said, hey, we'll just wing it. I said, Brian, we gotta have a little bit of knowledge, just a little bit.
I know. You know
So,
me. I'm a
so
big, hey, let's wing it. But I even took some notes because
yeah.
again, you're correct. We need to
So
we need to come proper.
So listen, I hope that we answered some questions, but I think we made people have more questions than we answered. But guys like Mazza who really know what's going on, come in and give us a little bit of insight, kind of
Yeah.
helps us out understand
Yeah.
because we're always, like I said before at the beginning of the show, we're behind the eight ball. It's
A little
always
bit,
like
yeah.
2 or 3 days that we even get the chance to watch a video because of what we do,
We're busy.
family life
Everybody's
and all that
busy.
stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we appreciate our viewers, our subscribers, and people that just kind of stumble onto us. We appreciate you guys 100%.
We do.
I'm not sure what we're going to do next week, or well, we're going to do tell us, right?
Tell us it's going to
And
be a good video.
it
Yeah, I
just
think you
shows
guys
the
are going to like
difference
it.
between. It shows the difference between. I mean, listen, we can't compare apples to apples because it's not, right? We are a huge department. Canton's not very big, so I understand resources are different, but this is what it should give you an idea of how it should be run, right? And Tell Us was a national story, so it has some implications the same, like Karen Reed,
Right.
but there's a difference on how you do a correct job and how you don't do a job, right?
Right. This will
So,
show. To me, this shows what should have been done.
right,
This
right.
shows this will show you what should have happened at Officer O'Keefe's crime
Yeah.
scene.
Could you talk about the grass growing
See, and
and the
my
store
grass is
listing?
not
Oh yeah,
growing. My grass is not growing. I
it's
don't have any grass. I only have rocks. See, out here in Vegas, you're not allowed to have grass. It's illegal.
no, it's not. It's not. Right now,
I
our
don't like
grass is
black grass out
our
here. Only on the
our,
golf course and the casinos.
our grass goes from brown to green for a short period of time and back to
Yeah.
brown because it's so damn hot down here.
Yeah, your grass will literally, you can watch it literally in real time. You can watch it burn
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
summertime.
yeah, yeah.
So they pay you to come out and tear your grass up and install turf or rocks
Turf.
here in
Yeah,
Vegas.
but
This
you know
is
what though?
safe.
You go out there and step on that turf with your bare feet, you're gonna have
Oh,
30-degree burns,
yeah, it's
dude.
hot. It's hot.
My grass in my backyard keeps my backyard 5 degrees
Well,
cooler, if not 10.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When dogs run out and they turn around and they run right back in, they're like, "Oh fuck this! Oh shit!"
Yeah,
You know it's
yeah,
hot.
yeah. But
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on what Maz said. Maz said Holyfield bit his ear, and I remember reading or watching the interview with Holyfield, and the reason he bit his ear is he was frustrated. Holyfield had him so frustrated he went back to his street smarts, and that's why he bit him. Yeah.
And
animalistic.
he has a biting fixation.
Yeah, and he has a
Whoa, he
biting
does.
fixation. He does. When he was fighting Jake Paul, did you see he was bringing his gloves in and he was biting his gloves? That's saying when he's biting it, he's saying he wants to kill you, but he's releasing that energy that he won't kill you. So, and Mike Tyson is greatest heavyweight of all time. So
Hmm.
on Runkle. These guys in Runkle. Who's Runkle? Runkle? Runkle still
I
sweet?
don't know.
So
Rumpelstiltskin?
there's
I'm sorry.
Runkle of the Bailey. He's got a YouTube channel. He was actually here in Vegas recently. You guys should check him out. A lot of people have recommended a collaboration with him. So look up Ian Runkle, watch some of his stuff, and maybe we can reach out and see if he wants to do something with us.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right.
We can do that.
Will be.
All right, let's wrap
it,
this
son.
up. Let's wrap it. Thank you all for joining us on a beautiful Saturday. At least it's beautiful here in Vegas. Hopefully where you're at least you're enjoying your day. We know it means a lot to us to take the time out to watch us, to replay us, to support us. We can't thank you guys enough. We're honored and humbled that you even enjoy our show. So we will be dropping a new video this week, and well, who knows what we're doing next week. I guess you'll have to tune in and watch. So everybody out there in YouTube land, be safe. Thanks for watching.
And for those who are still serving, have a safe tour duty, please.
And make a difference in someone's life. Stay classy, Las Vegas.
Always. Hit that button.
Solid. Hit that like button. Badoosh.
Badoosh it.
1 Sam 5 and 1 Sam 6, copy of 425 call.
Copy. 1 Sam 5 en route.
1 Sam 6, copy, en route.